Welcome to another episode of Adventure Bound Offroad. I'm Alfred, and today I'm going to show you guys our latest adventure. On this adventure, we travel to Devil's Canyon, located in Jacumba, California. This trail began life in the 1800s as a route leading from the port of San Diego into the Imperial Valley. As automobiles became more popular in the 1900s, the canyon route was abandoned in favor for a new construction. From this point forwards, Mother Nature reshaped the valley into what you'll see it today. The Bureau of Land Management highly regulates the area due to the fact that an endangered species of bighorn sheep use the canyon as a way of migrate. The trail is only open one weekend every 3 weeks from October through April and requires a special insurance and permit through BLM in order to run. For us, we were fortunate enough to be invited by the board members of the San Diego Jeep Club to join them on their run. The trail is only about 2.5 miles long, but with obstacles that test both vehicle and driver can easily take upwards of 5 hours to accomplish, and that's without any breakage or failures. So please, enjoy as we face the challenges of Devil's Canyon, and hopefully we can get through it without being affected by the so-called Devil's Curse. To begin our journey on Devil's Canyon, we all met up at the trailhead to air down and disconnect. The vehicles we have running the trail include a CJ5, a couple of JKs, 2 JLs, and some purpose-built buggies with some V8 power under the hood. Although these vehicles range from mild to wild, they all share a couple of aspects. They include lockers, big tires, low gears, and body armor that are necessary in order to run this trail. The buggies and the JL and 40s were capable of running this trail at a faster rate than the rest of the group, so they carried on, leaving us to play catch up. The trail starts out with some amazing looks of the canyon wall as we navigate our way through some tight places and over some small rock gardens. The difficulty soon increased once we came across our first obstacle. Josh from Trails Offroad and his linked out CJ5 on 39s walked up this V-notch without any hesitation. Rob from Adventure Bound Offroad just finished installing the suspension and 38s on his JK the night before. This trail proved to be the perfect shakedown run to test out the new components. With the first obstacle in our rearview mirrors, we make the short drive onto the next one. Out of all the vehicles in the group, Josh's CJ5 had the most ground clearance and suspension travel. This allowed him to climb the wall on the left side in order to get through the V-notch. The rest of the vehicles in the group chose to stay right. Going right proved to be just as challenging as going left, but with careful driver input and helpful direction from the spotter, only minor fender damage occurred. With no time to slow down, we continue to push forward onto the next obstacle.
Said that they don't got a future like it burns. So give him something worse to kill his head with, make him forget somehow. Might be that another day she would have wished he stayed, but they're done. Sorry, this won't be enough this time. Yeah, he's calling all his friends to get some action and distract him right now. He's fine, got Lucy on the line, let's get this started. Where's the party tonight? I feel good, nothing weighs me down. I can't believe my luck right now. Red eyes while he said, don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart, it needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Ooh, who needs a job to pay the rent? Is busy. Gotta feel free sometimes, right? What doesn't make you will only make you stronger.
The most technical part of this trail is known as the 3 waterfalls. Even with the best possible route selected, Catherine's JKU on 35s just didn't have enough ground clearance. With plenty of trail ahead of us, pulling winch line was the best decision to keep moving forwards.
Never mind my dumb heart. It needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future. Future like that. It hurts. So giving something worse to pass the time. Don't you wanna?
Devil's Canyon is tight to navigate through, and if you want to run this trail, you have to be willing to drive away with some twisted sheet metal and leaving behind some paint.
Never mind my dumb heart. It needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun?
Owning a Jeep is like being a part of a large family. On trail, no one is a stranger when it comes to stacking rocks or running a winch line to help out a fellow driver. We all love our vehicles, and at the end of the day, we want to see each other make it to the end of the trail.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles.
With only a few hours left of daylight, the only thing that separated us from completing the challenge of Devil's Canyon was his 100-yard rock garden.
Lights looking fine, and you know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Look at the beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
As Patrick attempts his run up the rock garden, we unfortunately discovered the Devil's Curse. As the Jeep crawled forwards, an unseen boulder leveraged the tie rod end uproots and completely sheared it off.
Mistakes, I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes.
In the way of trail repairs, this one's up there. With some welding rod, jumper cables, and a couple of batteries, Rob was able to weld the link back onto the tie rod, and it held up long enough to get Patrick back up to the main road.
Gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
Devil's Canyon is one of those trails that only a select few may ever run. It's notable for its continuous technical obstacles that hammer the driver throughout the course of the day. It's sometimes referred as a mini Rubicon. Here with me is my best friend Rob from Adventure Bound Offroad. He's the driver that drove this JK in the video. So Rob, what are your thoughts?
So first off, I want to thank the San Diego Jeep Club and the board members. This trail is very difficult to get a permit, get the insurance in line. It's not an easy task. So I want to say thank you, and I'm honored that we got the invite to roll with you all.
So Rob, what'd you have to do to prepare for this run?
So a little background, the week before this run, the club reached out to me and they asked if I would be interested in running it. Of course I was, but I did not meet the requirements that they were asking. So they needed 37s and at least a 3.5 inch lift, and I was on an 1.5 inch lift on 35s. I did have lockers and I had the other requirements, but not the lift and the tires.
Yeah, because like if you would have seen this Jeep like not in its current state, it had no front bumper, it didn't have a winch, these lights were not on it, the tires were 35s, like halfway bald 35s, right?
Yeah.
But like in its current state, it looks pretty good.
It had been a little bit neglected.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunately, during the whole process of Rob doing this build, I was out on COVID. I was literally like, we were like in the shop on Saturday, Sunday morning, I had a fever, had the cough, and then that left Rob like throughout the course of the week to do this by himself.
So I had the parts on the shelf. In all honesty, I had the parts. I just been needing to do the work, and we don't get a whole lot of time to work on our own vehicles. We're oftentimes stuck in the shop, long hours, just making sure everybody else's vehicles and builds are done and completed on date. But this time I didn't want to miss this run, so.
It's actually a very special run to hit.
Yeah.
So, especially it's one of those trails in the area where if you had the opportunity to say you ran it, it kind of puts you up higher in like the Jeep community around here, so.
So the opportunity presented itself, and I knew I had to take that one. So.
You definitely lost a little sleep, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah, I was
so.
working to keep the shop running. He was out, so trying to make sure everything was still running in the shop the day to day, and then close it down at night and work till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I didn't get much sleep that week, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, and the Jeep looks amazing, but like after all that work, how'd the Jeep perform?
Great, exactly how I would expect it to.
Yeah, because you didn't have any issues. Like you crawled over the rocks. You didn't have to pull a winch line not once. So.
Yeah, we didn't get hung up really.
Yeah, and we definitely had an adventure on that trail.
Yeah,
so.
definitely fun.
But so how's this trail, Devil's Canyon, compared to like the other trails that that you've ran, that we've ran together? And unfortunately, I couldn't run with him because my TJ wasn't ready. But how does this one compare in your whole book of trails?
So, like you said, we've definitely ran a lot of trails, way from East Coast trails. I've ran some stuff in Rouse Creek. I've ran in Moab. We've ran
Big Bear,
all those trails, and this one's top of my list. It was just obstacle after obstacle. It was no downtime. We both like to wheel pretty hard.
Oh yeah,
we like the obstacles, so it was pretty awesome. It was great.
Yes, and yeah, you were driving the trail, hitting the obstacles, and I was filming
the trail,
and I was climbing over them. So I got my steps in for the day. So if you guys are watching this video and want to know more about this trail, so the caretakers of this trail is the Terra del Sol Jeep Club. I'll add a link in the description below. But thanks again for watching the video, and I'm Alfred with Adventure Bound Offroad.
I'm Rob with Adventure Bound Offroad.
And we're both Adventure Bound Offroad, so until next time, catch you guys on the flip. That's a fix. Battle repair.